If I gotta wake you up to motivate you to change your life financially, your status, the rest of your career, I'm not the right coach for you.
Welcome back. 2017 version of the Coach Kav Show. I think we're in episode 12, so it's super exciting. We made it through 2016, and I got to tell you, it was a really cool year. I know a lot of people are bitching, moaning, and complaining about all 2016 sucked. And you know what? I'm not going to be hearing the guy that says that. I mean, I think the reality of it is that you are what you want it to be. Your year was what it was, and that's not for like a lot of things that happen to some people. Maybe there's some bad circumstances, and I get it. But for the majority of you athletes, the situation is such that you get what you put into things, and the situation is very simple. Is you guys bitch and complain about stuff, but you're not willing to put the work in. And if you back up and you rewind the tape of what 2016 was, you're going to realize that you probably didn't lift as much as you could. You probably didn't train as much as you could. You didn't watch film. You didn't study. You didn't take your tests. You didn't do the right things. And then that's why the results were it was. And for the athletes that we talked about even last year during the All-County, All-Met Awards and All-State Awards that had great seasons, you rewind the tape on them, and you guys know this. You lifted. You got in the training room. You ate what you needed to do. You got some rest, and you went to camps, and you had opportunities, and you guys are getting scholarships, and you guys balled out at camp, and you had balled out on the season on Friday nights. Went to the playoffs, and you guys had a great year. So, first and foremost, I want you to know this. Number one, I'm very proud of my year last year. I think we had a huge success with the athletes that we had in the building. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of why I think a lot of that stuff happens. My biggest advice to you guys for 2017 was to not make the same mistakes that you made in 2016 and before that. And the best way to do that is to think about what you want to accomplish, right? Everybody's in the whole positive space, right? And they always want to think about, hey guys, you could do anything if you put your mind to it. Look, I'm all about that, and I think that you absolutely need to think that way, but you need to be realistic. You need to understand, okay, if this is something you want, then being realistic is not, do I have the talent, do I have the ability to do those things? Realistic is, do I have the work ethic to make those things happen? Because a lot of you guys don't. You guys say that you want it, but you don't put the work in to make it happen. So to me, that doesn't show that you actually have the drive and the desire. You might have this huge ambition, but if you don't back that up with some freaking fuel, it doesn't matter how much talent you have, it's only going to take you so far. And just because you say you want to do something doesn't mean you're actually going to end up accomplishing it. Just because you threw it out there and you posted it up on social, or you talk to your friends about, hey, I'm going D1, or hey, I'm going to the league. Right now, we got 20 guys here. We take about 10 to 15 guys every year. That every year the guys are getting ready for the league. We're getting ready for the NFL Combine. We're getting ready for the draft. I have a few guys right now getting ready to go down to spring training. Some of these guys have put on 5, some of them put on 15 pounds. They're going to look like completely different athletes. They put the work in. They're ready to go. So you guys can say that you want it, but not very many people are here. We only take a handful of those. And we talked about the 1% last year. Now it's at your point, it's the time is like, do you want to be part of that 1%? Well, then start doing. So the best advice I could give you in regards to setting goals and looking at situations for as we enter into the new year is that think about a pre-mortem to whatever event or accomplishment or anything that is equal to your ambition that you want to accomplish this year. And what I mean by that is I learned this from Guy Kawasaki in the book Enchanted. I think it's an amazing way of looking at things. Instead of doing a post-mortem, which is like, hey, he died because he ran out in the road, he got hit by a car, or he jumped off a building, that was stupid, right? We all know if you don't jump off the building, probably less dumb shit are going to happen to you, right? You hang around a bunch of dumb friends, less likely that things are going to happen if you hang around a bunch of good friends. It's simple. So a lot of it is your circle is going to determine your circumstances, and I want to make sure that you guys know that you can actually do it on the front end and make some adjustments. So here's what I mean by that. Just like the Titanic didn't see the iceberg, right? But because it was so confident and so naive, A lot of you athletes are naive to what's out there. I want to figure out what is your iceberg to your ship, and I don't want anything to let it sink. So here's what I want you to do. Before the season happens right now, before you get into the off season and before you get into the season of 2017, I want you to do a pre-mortem on everything that could happen that's going to kill the experience. Everything that's going to happen that's going to mess you up this year. So here's what I'm thinking, right? What I mean by that is if we do the All-American camp, we bring in 50 Division I college coaches, we have 350 kids. It's a big ordeal. And yet it runs super smooth. You know why? Number one, we've been doing it for a long time. You know, this is 13 years of me doing this. You know, we have, 10 plus years of working with guys getting ready for the combine, so we feel very, proud of that and the success that we've had. So we know that certain things are always going to fall into place. But every year there's a new set of circumstances and there's a new set of obstacles that we kind of have to overcome. So here's the thing that we do. We meet as a staff before any of these events happen and we talk about basically anything that could go wrong that's going to make the shit hit the fan. Because if it's one thing, we might be able to get over it. But if there's 20, 30 things that happen throughout the way as we're in our journey, it's going to slow down our process. It's going to slow down the way that we're able to implement and train and work with our guys. And it's going to really hurt us as far as the effectiveness of our program. So what I want you to do is think about that exact same thing and think about every single thing that's going to be in your way and try to fix it before it even happens. See, you might come up with 50 different obstacles along the way. But you'll be surprised to know that if you knew about them ahead of time, they were easy 1-2 decisions, 2-second split decisions that you could have done just to fix it. So before we even get started, we're probably fixing about 50% of the shit that is going to happen by just making an adjustment before it even moves on. The other 50% of things that we don't even know about that might pop up, we're more prepared for because we have more time. We have a bigger buffer. So I really want you guys to look at 2017 as a year that you could control versus it controlling you. A lot of guys complain about what's going on because they're not controlling their day. They're not controlling kind of everything that happens. And if you don't control that, what's going to happen is your obstacles are going to control you. They're going to be too big for you to handle it. And for you guys that are athletes that want to play at the Division I level, and for the guys that are right now warming up, getting ready to want to play in the NFL, you have these huge ambitions. And look, I want you to be successful. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about what you want, and I want you to start making sure that your behavior equals that. Because if your behavior doesn't equal that, we're going to have a huge problem. See, if you could control the day, you could control your destiny. But if you don't control your day, it will damage every little thing that you are supposed to do. And the only thing you're going to have at the end of the day is a 2016 that didn't look so good is just going to repeat itself in 2017. Because as you are naive and you're making excuses for those things and you never change, those things are not going to make you stronger. Remember, the obstacle is the thing that you're able to springboard off of. But if you never face it and you just try to work around things or you just kind of be smooth with your teachers or with your grades, at the end of the day, it's going to end up biting you in the ass. So I want you to think about the events before they happen, think about all the stuff that goes wrong and then fix them. I talk to Jake all the time about food and stuff. It's about meal prep for his guys. He always talks to them about planning their food and meal prepping. It's one of the greatest things that you could do as far as nutrition is because it's in front of you. You guys are eating the food that's available. And what is available to you if you meal prep? If you take the time on Sunday and prep all the food that you ate, the food that you cooked, you're just going to have it right in front of you. You're just going to eat that. But if it's not easily accessible, you're going to go to Chipotle, wait 15 minutes in line and then buy that. Or you're just going to drive through McDonald's and eat that shit. Or you won't eat anything at all, and that's not going to help you get to the goals that you want either. So it's being prepared, both in two ways. Number one, being prepared for what you think is going to be out there, and being prepared for what is in front of you because you've gone through this journey. So that's the biggest tip I have for you for 2017. But I also want to tell you that we got some exciting news with the show. It's going to be a very different experience for you. We're going to kind of give you a bird's eye view, looking at our facility from an outsider's perspective, kind of what's going on in the day and some of the interactions. But you're also going to come inside the facility and see what our athletes are doing day to day, and then also what our lives are like going through this kind of dream journey for our NFL Combine guys. I think it's really cool because there's a lot of stories to tell from these guys that are coming from all across the country with all different backgrounds, and they're going to potentially be the next guys in the league. The guys like Keenan Reynolds, Devin Fuller, JJ, Jabal, like all of these guys that have had a lot of success that came through our program, the Brian Parkers of the war, the Daniel Browns, like I'm super pumped for them because they're in the league, but wouldn't it be cool to kind of see what they went through? And as a high school athlete, as a college athlete, and as an aspiring pro, you guys could just mirror their behaviors because that is what's making them successful. Why don't you just do the same thing? Make it your own, but just mirror them. Because if you mirror the successful people and you hang around them, it is more likely that you're going to be successful. You start mirroring your friends that don't want to play at the Division I A level, and you're going to start mirroring your friends that really don't give a crap about school, it's more than likely that your grades are going to slip. It's more than likely that you're not going to have support when you need it to get to the next level. Don't ask the weak person for advice in the gym. Don't ask the slow guy for advice on speed. Don't ask the kid that's cheating, getting in trouble, and not got his grades in order advice on the test. Be smart. Use a better strategy. I would say one of the biggest things that makes us successful here at SSI is the idea that, number one, I believe that we know what the hell we're doing. We've been doing it for over a decade. We've been very successful with every single type of athlete, and it's because attention to detail. But the details are the right details. It's the right strategy. We know what's going on. We know how to adjust your mind. We know how to adjust your body. We know how to make sure that you're ready for the next game, for the next event. To where you're, instead of being 10% better, you're 10 times better. So as you enter into 2017, don't just lower your goals because it's going to be a lot of hard work by using the strategy. Have the same ambition that you've always had. Just have the work ethic to back it up. And then make sure that you think about what those obstacles are going to be before it happens, so then you can start planning along the day. Look, I'm super excited for you. I hope that you have a great 2017 year, and I know that if you come in here and you see the guys that are in our building, I think you're going to have a pretty cool experience too. Look, thank you very much for being a part of this journey with us, and anything that you need, just feel free to reach out. We'll be more than happy to help you.